Hi, everybody. Sergeant Deirdre here with social media officer training. What we are going to start with is event creation. And the reason I'm starting with event creation is because I would also like seneschals, event stewards, general populace to watch these videos as well. And this is going to be the most pertinent thing that covers everybody in the beginning. Um, so let me share my screen here. Okay. And this is an event that my local march is hosting. It's already created, but I'm going to use that to kind of show you how to do it. What you need to do, society policy states that a page has to be one of the hosts for the event. Um, It doesn't matter if it's set up by a social media officer, if the page is run by the group seneschal, web minister, really any officer can help run the page if you don't have a dedicated social media officer. You do have to have somebody in an officer position running the page. But if you don't have a dedicated social media officer, like I said, it could also be your seneschal, web minister, anybody. You want to have multiple people in this position. If you don't, especially if you don't have a dedicated social media officer, but having seneschal and other people as admins on the page is always a good idea. Life happens. You don't want this to disappear and no longer be under anyone's control. It really limits you in what you can do online for society policies. So you want to be logged in as the account, not your personal. And what you want to do is you click this little home button and you go over here to events. Create a new event. Um, you can, if you've already got a banner made, like I've got for the event back here, you can add this, or it'll just kind of automatically use the banner that you use for your page. We're going to have super awesome fun time event. And we're going to do it on, it's already on the Bid Rum calendar. We're doing it on March 20th at 9 a.m. And it's going to be held at the library down the street. Now, if you're hosting at something like a public park, the address is very important. I have been to many state parks, national parks, where the address that you type in leads to a maintenance building or an administration building, or it's in the middle of the woods on a random street somewhere in the park or nearby the park. If you've got newcomers coming to the event, if you've got people coming a couple of hours away to your event, you you don't want them getting lost and getting frustrated before they even get there. Try to be as specific with the information as you can. Maps are great. If you can get a specific GPS point, that's fantastic. But if you're hosting at something like, a state or a national park, don't presume that people happen to know where it is because this event has been there for the last 8 years. What if someone's coming for the first time and they haven't been there before? Will they know where to go? You have to think of events from a newcomer's perspective if you want newcomers to show up. At super awesome fun time event, we're going to have archery, we're going to have classes, we're going to have martial activities. Yes, I understand that archery is also a martial activity. We're going to have ANS. You know, you don't have to get super into what are the details. You can post feast menus, you can post schedules, you can post all of that in the event later. You just want kind of a brief overview. Um, Adding co-hosts. Um, Facebook's a little goofy. So our on Facebook, our autocrat for Mask of Courtly Love back here is real life name Holly Taylor. This is not Holly Taylor. If I finish typing it out, this Holly Taylor does not show up. Other pages that are assigned as Holly Taylor, if this is like an artist or an influencer, that's what's coming up. The way you get around this is you make yourself a host. And once you make yourself a host and you finish creating the event, unfortunately, what you have to do is you go in up here and you switch back to your personal account. You accept the invitation to be a host of the event, and then you, as yourself, send invitations to your seneschal and your event steward to host the event. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but once that's done, you have other people to help you run events, particularly in the background. And once you've made yourself the host, and you've added the other hosts in, you just have more people to help you run the event page. Adding tickets. This is a great place to put the event website or your group's website. I can put, if the event itself doesn't have a website, you can put your barony or your hosting group's website, or you don't have to put anything there. I highly recommend websites for events, for information. It's a lot easier to find things, but that takes yet another volunteer. But I highly recommend still making websites for events. They're very useful for information. They're very helpful. I recommend it. You click this create event button. And once you do that, this is what it should look like. You'll have the information of the location, who the hosts are. You can see I have myself here as one of the hosts. This is our group seneschal. I sent the event steward a notification. She either hasn't approved it yet or she didn't get the notification. I can always resend that out. So you can see that it's pending here. I can delete it and resend it if I need to. It helps you I have post approval on. And one of the reasons I have post approval on for my event is because one of the biggest issues that events have with scammers is people logging on and posting that they have extra tickets for sale. We don't use tickets in the SCA. Do newcomers know that? Not necessarily. You don't want people to fall for a scam, especially as a newcomer. So I always put this little disclaimer here at the top that anyone advertising extra tickets for sale is a scammer. We do not sell tickets. And I have this pinned to the top of the event. So hopefully it's the first thing that people see while they're looking for information. The way that scammers get around the post approval is that they will comment on other posts that are up. They will comment here and say, hey, I have extra tickets for sale. So if you put this at the top, it kind of helps eliminate that before you realize that somebody has commented this because a newcomer may see it before you have a chance to delete it. And we really just want to look out for the new people. And you can just, you can add feast menu, you can add schedule of archery tournaments, of fencing tournaments, whatever. You can add your information as you get it, as it comes up. People who have responded that they're interested or that they're coming will get a notification that there was an update. In the event, in the details, it be part of the event to be official. This gets lost and forgotten a lot of times, but it helps reinforce that this is the official thing, and that it's being done properly. So you just Control C on that and come over here. And honestly, it doesn't matter if it's before or after the actual event information. You can do either one. Um, just have that information on there. I also change in the handbook, in the society policy. It has social media at sca.org. I change that to social media at midrealm.org because society doesn't need questions about your local group's event. Have it go to the kingdom officer first. If they have issues, they can escalate it to society. But for events, I do change that to mid-realm. Um, you can see here, I've got just a little blurb about what we're doing, and the link to the event is typed out there. You can, like I said, you can have this in the tickets also. Marketing is allowed. You are allowed to market your event. However, you have to have Exchequer approval and have discussed it with the group as part of your event expenses. And if you feel like it's worth it to run an ad, I highly recommend looking into uh, Facebook's information on how they run that. Just like anything else that you're presenting as part of group funds and financing, have your information available. What are the percentages of people that will actually see it? How does it work? Things like that. Know what you're spending. Have Exchequer and group approval before you do advertising. Don't just make that decision on your own. But you are allowed to do it. Once your event is created, once everything is up and good to go, you can share it to your groups. You can share it to your personal page, which kind of brings me to the next part of Facebook. And again, this is for kind of general populace information. In the mid-realm account, I get multiple spam posts a day. Some of them are just event shares. Gulf Wars is one that frequently ends up in the spam filter because Gulf Wars is sharing to multiple pages at a time. They're sharing to multiple groups. It doesn't give specifics. It says you can be logged as spam for posting or sharing something too quickly or too often in a short amount of time. What does that mean? It's arbitrary. It could be 5 times in 10 minutes. It could be 3 times in a half hour. Facebook doesn't really give you the information on that. It just will kick you into the spam filter and not tell you why. So what I recommend is for the group. So for example, with March of Alderford, I will share this to my barony. As the page, I will share this to my barony, you know, hey, come check out our event. Um, and then post it to my group. And then tomorrow I will share it to other groups or share it to the Kingdom page, or I will ask the event steward to share it to the Kingdom page. If somebody else is sharing it, it's less likely to get thrown in spam. If you share it to uh, 3 marches, your barony, the Kingdom, and your personal page, you are most likely going to get thrown in the spam filter. Spread it out, do it over the course of, a couple of hours or a couple of days. This event we're hosting, it's the 28th of February. It's honestly not going to make that much of a difference if I share it to my barony today and the Kingdom tomorrow. I'm not getting thrown in spam for doing that. And we're not in a time crunch. It's not going to destroy anything if I share it in one place today and another place tomorrow. But it keeps me out of that spam filter, which isn't the worst thing in the world. All you have to do and this is more for social media officers, but all you have to do for the spam filter is go to your group, and over here on the left side, you'll see where it says potential spam. You just click on that. It shows you what it is. You can look into it. But unfortunately, Facebook doesn't alert you that you have things in your spam folder. There's no alert that comes up and says, oh, you have information in your spam folder. You should look at that. It doesn't do that. You just have to go and look. And that's pretty much it for event creation, and how to put that up, how to have that properly shared, and how to keep from going into spam filters and things like that. If you have any questions about events specifically, and you're not a social media officer, contact your local social media officer. They can answer these questions for you. If you don't have a social media officer, please contact me at social media, all one word, at midrealm.org. I'll put it in the notes for the video, the contact information, when that's appropriate, things like that. I will continue on with other information. If you're not a social media officer, please feel free to continue watching. If you have interest in the office, if you are a seneschal, you are welcome to continue watching. You don't have to be a social media officer to watch these videos. It's for the social media officers, but it's good for the general public to understand the policies that they have to follow, why a post may get declined, things like that. It's important for everybody to know this so that you can support your local officer, so that you can cooperate with them, make this an enjoyable experience. Take over the office one day. It's really not that challenging. Once you know what you're doing, there's not that many steps. Once things are up and running, you just show up and you babysit things. It's not that challenging or that time consuming in general for a local officer.